Hi folks, welcome to Crisco's Corner. Unfiltered commentary. And not your truth, the real truth. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for your support. Hi folks, welcome back. This is a Substack from Michelle Tandler. I saw this on Tim Cast. One of his segments was concerning this Substack article, and I think this is worth reviewing in detail. So I'm going to make this one a two-parter. So she lives in San Francisco, and she sees her city going to crap. And she's wondering why. It's very fascinating. At least she's asking the questions. For Miss Tandler, I don't know her. I don't know of her. I've never read her before. And I don't mean this to be mean, but she's a clueless progressive. But at least I give her credit for seeing that what she's believing in doesn't work. And maybe this is a red pill moment for her. But the problem is, for progressives and Democrats, when they see that their policies and practices don't work and cause way more harm than good, they feel they're a person without a country. They have nowhere to go. Oh, God forbid they would never be a Republican. I mean, they would burn at the stake. So they'll be an independent, but they'll still think the same way. I'm not so sure how sincere she is. And I'm going to be a little critical. Let's read on. Remember, she does live in San Francisco, so she sees this firsthand. Here's what confuses me about San Francisco. We have the most liberal, left-wing government population in the country. Ding, ding, ding. That should set off alarm bells already. We have a $13 billion budget. We have 8,000 people sleeping in the rain this week. Can someone please explain this to me? Very easily. I don't know if she's asking these questions rhetorically, or she's just doing this for the article, or she really doesn't know. I think she's intelligent enough to know. She just doesn't want to admit it, because subconsciously, who wants to admit that what they believe in for their entire lives is wrong? What do progressives stand for? Absolutely nothing. I thought it was about making things more fair. Yeah, that's the equity issue. Equality and equity are not the same, as we read on. About standing up for the little guy, about human rights, equality, and then she puts in parenthesis equity, question mark, compassion. Equality and compassion has nothing to do with equity. Equity, as far as the progressives' way it works out, is everybody's equally as poor and everybody's equally as miserable, except for the elites, of course. San Francisco, to me, looks like the least compassionate city on the planet. The slums of Mumbai look cleaner than the streets of downtown San Francisco. This isn't just a tenderloin, and she goes on about looking like they're on the brink of death. That's why people wandering around, they use the term zombies. I've been a registered Democrat for 18 years. I grew up in a progressive family and want to go to a progressive school and have mostly progressive friends. That's half your problem right there. But the issue is, how do you find non-progressive friends in San Francisco? Good luck. Yet what I see in San Francisco is what progressives stand for. I want the opposite. Then stop thinking like a progressive. Stop being a Democrat. You say, well, I'll just be an independent. No, you'll still have the same mindset. Take the plunge, change your party to Republican. You can still think the same things. You can still want the same things. The party that you belong to has changed dramatically. Everything you've believed in, they do not believe in. The words used here are harm reduction, housing first, criminal justice, social justice. Equity is half the problem. Equity, by definition, in many cases, is racism. They don't align with what I'm seeing at all. Then leave them. Then leave the Democrat Party. Our strategy might as well be called harm increase, housing less, victim injustice, social injustice, and unfairness. That's right. Because equity is unfair. Equity is racist. Equity is a cancer. Yesterday I went for a drive in the rain. This is what happened in San Francisco right now. I'm sorry to force readers of the thread to bear witness to this, but I think it's important to acknowledge what we are all ignoring. Yeah. And she goes on, where's our $13 billion going exactly? They probably have, I think this is a good guess, the highest property taxes in the entire country. Probably the entire state of California at least. And that's a really, really, really high bar. Why do we have 3,000 shelter beds when 8,000 are unsheltered? How is this an American city? Because it's one-party rule. One-party rule. They say, well, John, in the South, there's a lot of one-party rules and Republicans. They don't look like this. They don't look like this. San Francisco was one of the most, I've never been there, but I've seen pictures, one of the most beautiful cities in the world. And look at this. Look at this. I just finished the book, San Francisco. If you care about San Francisco, if you care about the cities, if you care about America, give it a read. Why progressives ruin cities. Yeah. And you are one. You are one. You've been brainwashed your whole life by your school, your peers, from what you say, your family, your friends, everything. And to walk away from all of that is really, really hard because these people that think progressivism is the way to go will disown you in a millisecond. I'm starting to develop a serious dark view of progressive politicians. You should have a dark view already. Well, I guess baby steps, one step at a time. In charge of our town, they have absolute power, act like a regime, and talk often how broken the system is. They are the system. Are the homeless their foot soldiers, mascots, mercenaries? All of the above. You have to wonder with the funds we have as a city, state, and nation, is this situation on purpose? I saw what San Francisco was capable of when the pandemic hit. And then she goes on, progressives tend to blame Republicans for almost everything. Yet here we are, not a Republican in sight. That's the problem. It's like you gave the 15-year-old kids the keys to the liquor cabinet and went away for the weekend. Nowhere is there such inequality. There's such inequality because they want equity. It's a word game trick that they use. I've never seen destitution at this scale. Yet there are many questions to progressives. What do they stand for? What do they believe? They don't believe in anything. They believe in power and control, and that's it. What are their strengths as a political group? Pretty powerful. They control the media. They control Hollywood. Weaknesses. Why after decades of progressive rule in San Francisco, 8 people is on the steer. Weaknesses, it doesn't work. Why do we have the highest property crime rate? Why do we have the fewest children per capita? What is the biggest wins of the progressives in San Francisco? None. What are they most proud of? Their fight for justice. Yeah. What are the strongest public servants? Do you think we should continue? Do you think we should continue? She's asking, now, that's probably rhetorical, I assume, because she's like a very intelligent young lady. Recently, I've been having flashbacks of my junior year where I ran for class representative and lost by 5 votes. My opponent promised candy vending machines, parties, all kinds of fun things. He won and do a darn thing all year. Well, that should have been a red pill for you when you were a junior. But it didn't because you were surrounded by progressivism. Thought experiment. What would San Francisco look like if Republicans were in charge, if moderates ran things, if we had 2-party rule instead of one? Why don't you try it? Try supporting a Republican candidate. There's no such thing as a moderate Democrat. They would never win in San Francisco or in California, at least the area you're in. You're going to have to change sides. And you're going to have to go through 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 election cycles before you make any ground. But you're starting at zero. Downtown is boarded up. The school system is on the brink of a state takeover. The DA is over his skis. We are in crisis, and yes, we voted for this. We know. No, you don't. There's knowing, and then there's understanding. You haven't understood it yet. It hasn't hit you. We probably have more Black Lives Matter sign than any city in the nation. 40% of our homeless people are black. Do their lives matter? No, not to them.
I don't think he was too woke. He was the exact opposite. You know what woke means? It means you're a loser. Everything woke. Everything woke. It's true. Everything woke turns to shit, okay? It's true. It's true. Look at what's happening.
It's virtue signaling and moral grandstanding. Again, a rhetorical question. She knows this to be true. You have to walk away. It's a powerful narcotic that you're addicted to, at least mentally. You have to walk away. This past Thursday afternoon, I doubt on the Board of Supervisors meeting about the emergency order to refund the police. Our board sat through 10 hours of debate and public comment. It was astonishing, caller after caller saying defund the police.
You know what woke means? It means you're a loser. Everything woke. Everything woke. It's true. Everything woke turns to shit, okay? It's true. It's true. Look at what's happening.
And there it is, folks. There it is. So rather than make one long video, and make this 2 parts. So this is the end of part 1 on this young lady's basically trying to figure out how things got so bad. And I think she knows. I think she knows. She's just looking for someone to give it credibility for her to move on. It's difficult to believe that everything you've ever understood and believed your whole life has been wrong, has been just ridiculously, just horrible. Equity, equality, BLM, trans rights, all are one big package. It's about power and control. They could care less about the average person. So like I said, this is the end of part 1. Part 2 will be coming up soon. And like I always say, until the next time, goodbye and good luck.